the central philosophy of the brand still remains key. We will only bring things to you that we are very proud to use ourselves. I mean, I've been doing consumer brands for the last 20 odd years. So one thing I can tell you is that there's nothing that builds a brand better than the conviction of the people who are building that brand. So if today you are not extremely confident about what you are building, there is no way that you'll sell that to people whom you are wanting to sell to. So a brand is fundamentally a transfer of trust that happens between the builder and someone who's going to buy.
So the first question which actually boggles my head, which I want to ask you about, is the name itself. So huft basically stands for heads up for the tail. So what exactly it means? मतलब
Heads up.
क्या thought process है?
So thought process. Okay, so I'm gonna step back a little bit, right? We're a 16-year-old brand, and when the brand started, there was no pet care industry in India. It was fundamentally just pet food services or pet food and veterinarian services. Those were the two primary indicators of how the category was. It was only in the last 16 odd years that the category has become, a market segmented, which is straight up either e-commerce, retail, omni-channel driven now. So there's a large scale distribution piece that's gotten attached to it, right? Yes. The name came on the back of two fundamentals. One was we definitely wanted to have tail as a word. That was one. And the second thing that we wanted to do was, make it new age, make it quirky, make it a little bit more relatable for the Gen Z, who's our current audience. And since then, our audience has expanded, right? We have millennials, we have alpha, different kinds of people have entered the brand at different life stages. But when you sort of look at the core audience, heads up as a word is essentially, hey, something new is coming or something's about to happen, right? Yeah. So heads up as a term means that. And we were new at that time. And it was a very endearing sort of philosophy where we were saying we are doing something new for the ones who have the tails. So heads up for tails comes from that, right? So it was, hey, we're going to do something new for the ones who have tails. So it came from that. It also sort of from then till now, it's become a household name. Huft as the acronym, as you realize, is what is being used more than even the long form of the brand name. Yeah. But all our stores have the long form of the brand name. Yeah. But our app is called Huft and our reward program is called Huft Reward. So we use them interchangeably. And man, it's a fun name. Yeah, I think more than anything else, it's just a name that sort of sticks with you and it reminds you that there is something.
It has actually a very good ring to it, which gives you that vibe. Okay, this is what exactly the brand is all about, right?
Correct.
And what exactly you're doing. Fine.
Correct.
So second thing, which actually was very interesting, which I don't know I've seen with the brands, where I saw your profile picture on LinkedIn. I was like, you have a photo with a dog. So I realized probably this might be I don't know, a method which you guys follow or genuinely you like love your dog. I don't know. Because what I saw that the founder and co-founder also have a picture with the dogs, like on the website.
We love our pets. I mean, that's the reason why we are here. We are pet parents. I have been a pet parent, sibling, whatever you want to call, for the last almost 40 years. Yeah. So for me, I grew up with dogs and now I have dogs and cats. I can't imagine my life without them. So the photograph has nothing to do with LinkedIn or posturing or anything. That's my photograph. Like that, right? No, man. I mean, it's my photograph on Twitter. It's my photograph on Instagram. It's my photograph almost everywhere. The dog is Pinky. She's our office pet.
Okay.
So you will find a lot of people who pick her up, carry her, love her, sit with her. She goes off to sleep right next to us many times. She's a part of our lives, and I think at the end of the day, we have only so much time and so much space that we end up giving them. We should give a lot more, if you were to ask me. So one little photograph. One little photograph doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, true. One more thing I wanted to know from you, like it's just an hypothetical question. So
sure.
Any person who joins your organization, so like what exactly is the conversation around pets? Like initially, do you have a conversation? How many pets do you own? ये part होता है आपके interviews का?
यार, I think हमारा interview start वहाँ से होता है.
अरे amazing.
कि तेरी life की philosophy क्या है ये बताओ पहले तो, right? तुम्हारे pet की तुम्हारी philosophy क्या है? Like I'll give you a very simple thing. You said pet owner. Okay, you own a pet. We don't use that terminology ever. We don't think you can own anyone, right? You care for a pet, right? You're a caregiver.
Actually, very nice. I'm going to use it.
Yeah. So Rahul cannot own his dog, right? Rahul has a relationship with his dog, and that relationship is one of mutual trust, love, care. In fact, I think your dog loves you more than you love your dog. Always happens. ठीक है? मतलब वो उस for your pet, you are his or her entire life.
Exactly.
ठीक है? So यहाँ पे when people come in, they want to be a part of our organization. They first have to subscribe to a value system and a philosophy and a brand platform that is so distinct from any other place.
Yeah.
That you know, I've said this in many forums that when you're joining Huft, you're not joining an organization to work. You're joining a place to grow, and you're joining a place to become a better version of yourself. So you're not joining Huft because today you want to achieve a certain sale target, or you want to make the next big product and all of it. Of course you will do all of that. But I think you're going to change so much. You know, you're going to change the way you look at things. You're going to change the way you behave and the way you use language and the way you spend time with others. It's a transformative journey, yeah. And it starts with that one basic question: that what is your relationship with your pet?
Samriddh ji, the thing which I wanted to probably, I would say, address, or which I really like about Huft is currently the startups who did well in last decade or so. I won't say they all were doing I would say unethical, or like little bit they were going off their track. But Huft being an organization which I feel is where actually you guys being an employee might feel that pride, okay, you're doing a social work as well. वो एक अंदर से शायद आता होगा.
Yeah, again, see, I don't think organizations, and I don't want to reflect on the ethical versus unethical piece. I think every organization goes through its own journey and decision making, and you know, more power to everyone to make sure that they're doing the right things, and no one starts off with an intent of not doing right. So पहली बात तो ये कि everyone starts off with the intent of doing the best that they can for themselves, the community that they serve, and the nation. Right? That's broadly the hierarchy of things. We have the same philosophy that we first want to do the best that we can for the community that we serve, for our employees, for our shareholders, stakeholders, and then for our, you know, extended partners. And then, of course, as we look at it, the nation has to benefit from all of this. That's our central philosophy. The social work or the social impact piece is so important in our field that you can't possibly walk away from it. There are very few organizations who stand up and sort of one speak and then second work actively towards the betterment of the community animals' lives, right? आज के दिन में ना just for community animals बहुत कम ऐसे संस्थाएं हैं या आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कह लो, लोग हैं जो उठ के एक्चुअली काम कर सकते हैं, जो काम करने की जरूरत है. पहली बात तो ये. दूसरा ये है कि वो काम करने पे उतर भी जाएंगे तो उनको ना पैसा होगा उनके पास वो काम करने के लिए, ठीक है, ना उनके पास एक फौज जो तैयार होनी चाहिए आपको ताकि आप जो काम कर रहे हो वो बहुत लोग कर सके एक साथ, वो नहीं होता. और तीसरी बात ये कि आप शुरू तो कर दोगे जोश में आके, मगर आपके पास वो कहते हैं ना, वो लॉन्जेविटी नहीं रहती. ठीक है, वो आपने आज शुरू किया तो आपको लगता है कि हाँ मैं 10-15 दिन ही कर सकता हूँ या मैं 1 महीना तक ही कर सकता हूँ, इससे ज्यादा मैं कर नहीं सकता क्योंकि ये बाकी पैसा कहाँ से आएगा इसको करने के लिए. तो या तो आपके पास इम्पैक्ट के लिए पैसा नहीं होता, या तो आपके पास लॉन्जेविटी के लिए पैसा नहीं होता, दोनों में से कोई एक चीज. या तो आपके पास इंटेंट बहुत है, सब कुछ है, मगर आपके पास लोग ही नहीं है ये करने के लिए. तो हम वी आर इन अ यूनिक सिचुएशन वेयर वी हैव बोथ the network and the community and the wherewithal and the knowledge to make this happen. Then we have a certain amount of capital benefit that comes from both our community as well as what we have. And we have dedicated our lives to it here. So even before I joined Heads Up for Tails, I was always a community caregiver. I was a rescuer. I was a feeder. I would make sure that I'm taking animals through neutering programs, you know, through adoption programs. And that's my personal life mission, right? And and it's not just me. I think most of the people who work here, even outside Heads Up for Tails, or even before they came in here, they were all doing something or the other which was extremely significant towards impacting the lives of the community animals. Okay? Because you can't come and work in a place like this जहाँ पे आपका empathy barometer low.
True.
ठीक है, तो हर चीज में ना कुछ barometers होते हैं, right? एक empathy होता है, ठीक है, एक intellect होता है. तो हम intellect के लिए तो चलो we are solving for it constantly, right? बट जो एम्पैथी है ना वो बहुत इनबिल्ट होता है सिस्टम में. वो या तो है या तो नहीं है, या तो आप सीख लोगे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, मगर मुश्किल हो जाती है उसमें. because we are hiring people who have such a high empathy sort of state of mind कि जब भी यहाँ पे आते हैं उसको वो एक्शन में चेंज कर देते हैं. तो इसके पहले तक आपका एम्पैथी है मगर आपके पास एक्शन लेने का जरिया नहीं है. आप यहाँ पे आओ तो आपके पास एक्शन भी लेने का जरिया है, तो आप काम करना शुरू कर देते हैं. तो मेरे हिसाब से तो वो है.
That's actually a very nice way to put it forward. Like, and मतलब to be frank, जो वेबसाइट मैंने देखी और जो भी मैं गो थ्रू कर रहा था उससे मुझे ये चीज बहुत क्लियरली पोर्ट्रे हुई that मतलब whatever you guys do, you feel very pride in it and you love that particular work. मतलब एक होता है कि you're just doing it for sake of doing it, और एक होता है you are actually love doing it, right?
Yeah, we love it, yeah. We love it. We love every moment of it. It gets frustrating also many times कि तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम्हें और करना चाहिए और कर सकते हो, नहीं कर पा रहे हो, जो भी है. या तो तुमने शुरू किया कुछ करना बट उसका जो एंड रिजल्ट होना था वो ऐसे नहीं हुआ. बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन होती है, ऐसी बात नहीं है, मगर हम सो अच्छी तरह जाते हैं ये जान के कि हमने जो भी किया ठीक किया.
That's actually really nice. One more story I wanted to know about the name itself. Rashi and Sara की जो story है, I
Yes.
want you to put some light on that. So
I was going through it, but Sara is actually the name from Rashi and her husband, whose name is Samarth. So it's S-A from Samarth and R-A from Rashi. So that's Sara.
Okay.
So Samarth also works for the organization. He is the CEO. He leads the business and investor side of it. They together sort of lead us. And the way I've seen Rashi's relationship with Sara is, and I was not there to witness it. I joined later, but whatever I've seen as part of videos and images, and when I hear her speak, I think two things there, Rahul. One, sometimes a dog comes into your life, maybe, and it could be your first dog, second dog, third dog, that doesn't matter. But one dog comes into your life who just transforms your life. हमेशा होता है, ठीक है? That dog just does things which you can't imagine. And maybe you're also at a life stage जहाँ पे आपका acceptance, understanding, emotional maturity थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है. So you start to look at the dog as your child. You start to look at the dog as your, as your responsibility more than you potentially would have done in the past. So I think Sara was that for Rashi. Sara transformed Rashi from being someone who wanted to do the best for her dog to being someone who wanted to bring the best to every dog. And I think that is just phenomenal, right? I mean, at the end of the day, when you realize कि मुझे सिर्फ अपने लिए नहीं करना है, and मुझे यही same sort of power that I have been able to build, और ये जो मेरा knowledge base है या ये जो मैंने आज तक सीखा है, ये मैं 10 लोगों तक क्यों रखूं, मैं ये 1 करोड़ लोगों तक क्यों ना लेके जाऊं. I think जब आपका वो mindset बन जाता है ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आप काफी हद तक आगे निकल जाते हो अपने सोच से. जब बंदा सोच से आगे निकल जाता है ना, तो वो काम भी उसी के हिसाब से करते हैं, ठीक है? हम सबकी प्रॉब्लम ये ना कि हम जहां तक हमारी सोच है हम वहीं तक रह जाते हैं. So you are limited by your imagination. Now suddenly what happens is you expand your imagination. You say, boss, today if I'm doing something that is really benefiting my one dog, Sara in this case, why shouldn't that benefit hundreds and thousands of dogs, right? So सोच जब बढ़ जाती है तो काम भी उसके हिसाब से और हौसला भी उसके हिसाब से बढ़ जाता है. तो आई थिंक वो हुआ राशि के साथ जब सारा आई उसकी लाइफ में. So yeah, for me that's the transformative piece.
This is one piece of information which I wanted to know. Like all you guys, like जो भी हफ्त में काम करते हैं, मतलब are you guys like fan of John Wick movies?
Not John Wick. I mean, dude, John Wick did exactly what needs to be done in life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think Rashi lies on the same page. I think she created a company.
Rashi will outsource her inner John Wick to others. Yeah. Okay, I am John Wick. मैं तो सीधा घुस जाऊंगा, ठीक है? But Rashi will outsource her John Wick to others. So she has people like us to do it. But exactly. No man, see here is the thing, right? You can't. But on a serious note, yeah, Rahul, you can't change a world that is being built on the back of hatred. True. Through violence. You can't do it. True. Okay? Agreed. Today, I am seeing that there are so many different people who are standing up and saying, street dogs खराब है, इनको निकालो, ये गन मचाते हैं, जो भी करते हैं, हाँ? इनसे हम बहुत डरते हैं, ये यहाँ पे नहीं होना चाहिए. There is this narrative. And there's an action also towards it. काफी लोग कर रहे हैं, बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं, जो गलत कर रहे हैं. साथ साथ उतने ही लोग हैं या शायद उससे कहीं गुना ज्यादा लोग हैं जो उठ के कह रहे नहीं, हम खड़े रहेंगे यहाँ पे, आप गलत नहीं कर सकते हो, ठीक है, मगर लड़ाई नहीं कर रहे दोनों लोग। जिस दिन ये लड़ाई पे बात उतर आई ना, उस दिन दोनों साइड का कोई लॉजिक नहीं रहेगा, ठीक है। एक डरा हुआ है और दूसरा डरता नहीं है। अब जो डरा हुआ है तुम उसको ये नहीं बोल सकते कि तू डर मत, और अगर तू डर गया तो मैं तुझे मार दूंगा, that
Logic
logic doesn't
नहीं है.
hold true, right?
Yeah.
So the most important thing that one needs to recognize is to change the mindset of people who have taken the path of volatility because they're scared. And I genuinely believe they take that path because they're scared. You have to counsel them and you have to help them see a better light.
True.
You can't confront them and expect them to change their mind. They're already scared, they will get further scared.
Agreed.
Okay?
Totally.
So you have to change their mindset with information, awareness, and a lot of love. ये हमारा मानना है, ठीक है? That's why, one thing we hate is this terminology of pet lovers versus, pet haters, whatever. The moment you say pet lovers, oh, are you a pet lover? Hi, yeah, but I'm not a pet lover at the end of the day, right? I'm an all animal lover, number one. Second, why do we have to say that some people are pet lovers and some people are not? Because the moment you say someone is not a pet lover, it automatically indicates that they're against it. So वो polarizing commentary चाहिए नहीं life में, शुरुआत से.
Agreed. That's actually a very, a different thought process, to be very frank. I was not expecting कि ये ऐसा आंसर आएगा, but it's actually a very, when you think on it, you realize कि हाँ, ये बहुत deep thought है. Even if you say a positive thing outside, it means that there is someone negative out there, that's the reason you're positive.
Correct.
So
तो
वो कहीं ना कहीं
नहीं बनाना
polarization
है,
हो रहा है. Agreed to it.
वो हो रहा है, तो वो नहीं बनाना है, ठीक है, क्योंकि वो जिस दिन वो क्लब बन गया ना कि are you a pet lover, simultaneously it says that there is an opposing entity, right? We are not there to create an opposing entity. We are caregivers. All of us are caregivers at the end of the day. Even if you have a pet who's 2 days old with you, your entire responsibility in life is to give the best care that you can give to your pet.
Second point, which not second point, but I would like to direct this conversation towards, I would say, little bit towards brand now.
Yeah.
Considering Ikigai principle, to be very frank, where it says that you need to do something which you're good at, you need to do something which you love, you need to do something which, and it should be like you should be able to make money out of it. So how do you think, like considering this being a very niche segment to itself, obviously the initial part I would say would be a struggle because no one would like easily come on the website or probably buy something that expensive for a dog at start. वो कहीं ना कहीं मेंटालिटी थॉट प्रोसेस स्टार्टिंग में कहीं ना कहीं शायद नहीं होगा बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ अवेयरनेस या जॉन विक रिलीज नहीं हुई थी वो टाइम पे आई डोंट नो बट तो हाउ डिड द टीम मैनेज दिस एंड व्हाट वाज द थॉट प्रोसेस और कैसे किया इसको ओवरकम कैसे किया?
I think a couple of things, right? One is the sheer confidence that there are more people like us. When you're launching a business, you're prototyping the business on a consumer side which is very close to you at the end of the day. Otherwise, you have no role to play in that market, right? So I think when Rashi launched it, there was a very clear understanding that there was a certain sizable, addressable market which was very similar to the way she was shopping. And they were all looking for things and they were all importing things. So the market assessment was already done. There was a lot of research that had gone into checking how much people are spending on their pets on an average. And at that time, the realization was that a lot of that expenditure was happening through export markets, which is US से कोई आ रहा है, यार भाई ये ले आओगे, कोई UK से आ रहा है, अच्छा ठीक है ये एक अच्छी चीज है वहां पे बनते हुए ले आओ. So a lot of things were being imported. So of course the market was already there. Someone needed to address the market by making something which was going to be in India, right? So I think that was the first piece, that you don't always need to have 1 million people to come in. You need your first 100-150 people to come in, and that first 100-150 are the ones who are already buying or already subscribing to a lifestyle which is like yours.
True.
पहली बात तो ये. दूसरा, I think just deliver amazing quality of products. So what worked for Heads of Tails more than anything else was the fact that the quality of the product was so superior to what was in the market that people automatically start to talk about it. So this is a brand that has been built on the back of user-generated content and word of mouth. Right? And I mean, today, if you look at the community, there is not one person in the community who stands up and says, I don't trust the quality of Heads of Tails. Right?
So putting a little bit light on the quality. क्या मतलब? What exactly, I would say, not USP,
couple of
but
things. Couple of things. No, couple of things. One, choosing the right material. I think the reason a lot of people think that we charge a premium as compared to what is available in the market. But when you look at the choice of material that we have for our toys or our bedding or our collars, leash, harness, across the product lines, our winter wear is coming right now. The material choice is potentially even better than what humans wear. Why? Because the durability of that has to be so much more, right? That's a very difficult choice to make. We can make it with cheaper material. Sure, our costs will go down, but that's bad for your dog and that's bad for you. You will buy something that potentially is not the best thing that you can get. Why would you want that? So our philosophy is very simple. If it's not the best for our pet, we don't want to bring it for your pet.
Okay. That's
Okay,
actually a very nice sentence.
So it's a very simple philosophy. If it is something that I will not be extremely proud to give my dogs and my cats, I will never bring it for Rahul's dog. I won't.
So is this your statement which you use brand
100%. Across, right? So that's our quality philosophy is simple. If it is not the best that can be given to our pets, our pet parents and our community should get better. Okay. So we will keep working till we find the best. So today, when we make our dehydrated treats or when we make the wet food, we have just launched something a couple of months back called Sarah's Wholesome. When we do that, man, we're getting, for example, chicken, turkey, we're getting lamb, we're getting apples, we're getting pumpkin. You should see the quality of that raw material. It is same 5-star hotels ka jo sourcing channel hai. We get our material sourced from that same thing. So it's not like we are going to a local thing. We're going to a farm which is organic, certified, sustainable, best quality, reared for this purpose, and then ensuring that that supply line is the best possible supply line with the highest amount of hygiene, right? Lots of people have come and told us in the past year, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this, but kutta hi to hai, kyun kar rahe ho? Right? A lot of people have said that, right? I mean, it's just a dog, man. Why are you doing this? Or, but for us, it's not just a dog, yeah. I can't imagine my life without my pets. Okay, I can't imagine how I can imagine because the number of times that my pets have potentially fallen unwell or whatever it is, or they need help. You're completely helpless because you don't know what to do. वो बेजुबान है, वो आपको ये नहीं बता सकता कि मेरे पेट में दर्द हो रहा है या मेरे आज गात में दर्द हो रहा है या मेरे पीठ में कुछ है. वो कुछ नहीं बोल सकता है. At that moment, you need to do the best that you can. So I think that choice has to be made from the day one, which is the quality choice and that's the choice that we make so that you don't have to make that choice, which is if it's not good for my pet or if it's not the best that my pet can get, I'm not going to bring it for my customers. So that's the first thing, right? That's the material choice. Second choice is that can I start to solve problems that you can't even imagine at this moment, right? So today, if I look at a pet parent's life, there are so many things that you do in a day, right? You have to feed, you have to clean, you have to walk, you have to entertain, you have to keep your dog safe, you have to keep your dog warm and cozy when it's cold. You have to keep your dog cool when it's really, really hot. You have to make sure that your dog finds ways to socialize. You have to also find a way to take your dog for road trips because you want your dog to travel. You don't want your dog to be bored. You want your dog to be able to live the healthiest and the nicest life that they can when they're getting older. You want a puppy who's going to live the longest, and you want an old dog who's going to have the most comfortable last part of their lives, right?
True.
All of these things are essentially like the parenting category. Same way. ठीक है, आपका एक बच्चा है, in the initial stages you want your kid to have the most comfortable, safest conditioning, and then as your kid keeps growing up, you want your kid to get different kinds of products to enable different kinds of life stages. So we don't even consider ourselves to be a pet solutions brand. I have used this term so many times on this call itself. We are a pet parenting brand. We are at the end of the day a parenting services brand. We enable pet parents to take better decisions and to find better products. So that's a quality. So when you walk into a Heads of Hotels, you know that research has gone into this. There's better design, there's better material, right? There is more durability assessment that has happened. There is so much value that has gone into making that one product. I'll give you a number, okay? On an average, we reject anywhere between 60 to 65 different designs before we make one design.
Amazing.
We have an intensely high rejection rate. On top of that, we have something called the 4-step process, right? For any kind of quality check. 4-step processes, there's a sensorial. Does it feel right? Does it smell right? Does it look right? Okay. So there's a sensorial test. there is a durability test, which is I will put it through stress tests. I will, pull it, push it, grind it, ऊपर से गिराऊंगा, उसको उसमें kettlebells रखेंगे, उसको rigorous उसमें डालेंगे. So there's a durability test that happens. So there's a sensorial test, there is a durability test, right? Alongside these two, there is a heat test that happens, which is when you expose things to the heat, when you expose things to extreme cold, what happens, all of that happens, right? The final one, right, which is an extremely important thing for us, is the usage test, which is, can people who have different kinds of ability or challenges still use the product? So for example, if a buckle is too difficult for someone to put, and a lot of our, let's say a lot of our customers are slightly older. So for them to put a buckle in, is it very difficult for them to use because they might have arthritis or their hands, whatever? Is it safe when a child is putting it in? Because a lot of our customers are also children and who want to take their dogs for a walk. So we don't want a clamp jahan pe wo bacche ka haath aa jaye beech mein, right? So we go down to the extent of checking usability through and through. तो अगर हमें कहीं पे भी ये लगता है कि it might hurt a child's hand, or it might hurt an old person's hand, or it might need too much effort, we reject it. So over 60-65 design rejections, and these 4 steps of making sure that every product that comes out has a certain amount of personal satisfaction. हाँ, product आया है तो अच्छा है, मैं भी अपने घर पे use कर सकता हूँ, तो तू भी कर सकता है. So I think that's really where it is.
So I think to all the, I would say, the entrepreneurs out there and the ones who are starting their business in terms of building any product, if you were to give a suggestion, build a product जो आप खुद use करना चाहो, would be the tagline of it? ऐसा कुछ?
हाँ, I mean, it's a good sentiment, but there's more, right? There's a lot more to it. So it's not just about products. We also have services. So we run a full scale spa service. So I don't think it's so much a tagline as it's a central philosophy. The central philosophy of the brand still remains key. We will only bring things to you that we are very proud to use ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably building any product in that phase would actually be.
So for new emerging, let's say, founders, companies, all of that, there are 2 things there. And this is something I've been doing consumer brands for the last 20 odd years. So one thing I can tell you is that there's nothing that builds a brand better than the conviction of the people who are building that brand.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Okay. A brand gets built when the people who are building the brand have intense amount of conviction in what they're building. So if today you are not extremely confident about what you are building, there is no way that you will sell that to people whom you are wanting to sell to. So a brand is fundamentally a transfer of trust that happens between the builder and someone who's going to buy. Most people, where they fail is they're unable to articulate that conviction and the belief that they have. Your job as a founder is to keep telling people, why do you believe in it and why should others believe in it? I think people are smart. You don't need to oversell to anyone. The consumer is very smart. आज के दिन में ना तुम्हें 15 बार किसी को ये बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि तुझे ये खरीदना है. अगर वो एक बार उसको चमक गया तो चमक गया, नहीं चमका तो नहीं चमका. I think this coerced and forced way of selling is gone. Now you have to influence people into believing that there is a better life at the end of that choice. So what is the better life at the end of the choice? The better life is what you can show them. And how will you show them a better life if you yourself are not living that better life? So today when we tell people that, you should go and buy this product because when I use it on my dog and my dog is a puller and when I'm running with my dog, there is much less chance of me falling down because this leash has been designed like that. I'm living it, no? So I can say it. So you have to have 100% conviction in what you're building and a massive belief in the quality of what you're building. I think the brand starts there. So for all emerging founders, first thing is believe in it and articulate it in a way कि लोगों को समझ आएगा कि हाँ, I can trust him or her because of the trust that they have in this product line. I think that's super important, man. Baki, everything else is a gimmick.
On the same page, actually, when I was into counseling, I used to counsel parents on kids, like how to train them or how important that initial years are. So I used to use this sentence at that time and I used to inform them, kids won't do what you say. they will do what they see.
Yeah.
If you say your child
Exactly.
कि फोन मत उठाओ, वो आपका बुला हुआ नहीं सुनेंगे. अगर आप किताब लेके पढ़ते हुए दिखोगे ना जब उसे दिन में 4 घंटा, तब वो खुद
Correct.
किताब लेके बैठेगा. आप अगर खुद
100%.
फोन में लगे हो तो that was the thought process at that time, and it kind of replicates over here as well in terms of branding, in
No, I
terms
think
of
it's a very
marketing as well.
powerful thought, yeah. It's a very powerful thought because at the end of the day, people get influenced by actions of people, right? So today, you saw a photograph of mine on LinkedIn, not the intent, but you saw a photograph of mine on LinkedIn where I'm holding up a dog and I'm in a very happy zone.
Yeah.
So automatically you will assume कि हाँ यार ये यहाँ का philosophy है ये.
हाँ.
It was never designed like that. But honestly, I think it's a very good thing. It's a very, very good thing because if anything, that photograph has enabled you to think that on your LinkedIn also now you can put a photograph with a dog. So imagine that if tomorrow everyone on LinkedIn suddenly puts a photograph with their pet. That's a very good thing, yeah. Right? So anyways, what I'm getting at is if you have to influence change, then you have to show that change. You have to be that change. You otherwise are not going to be able to do it.
One more thing I would like to ask. This question
Sure.
which I asked you before this was around the people who want to be entrepreneurs. Now, I would say a question which revolves around anyone who wants to have a pet. Me myself, when I started actually, so I did have that struggle where I was not even aware कि क्या सही है, क्या गलत है. And
Correct.
sometimes it used to feel कि वो vet झूठ बोल रहा है, कुछ भी बोल रहा है. So I want like certain, I wouldn't say list of pointers, but what are the major, I would say, problems which you have seen, which Indian, I would say, using your term, the ones who pet the pet or are parenting the pets, basically mistakes they do, and what are your recommendations or something which you would like them to know कि okay, ये चीज तो नहीं करनी है या ये चीज तो करनी बहुत जरूरी है जो कहीं ना कहीं majority of the crowd is missing out. Again, like you can.
No,
Go
I'll make
into
it simpler. I'll make it
yeah.
simpler. I don't think there is anything such as don't do because every pet is different. Every pet is unique. Okay. And your style might be different from my style. So पहली बात तो ये, let's recognize that the same with children and parents is parenting styles are different, kids are different. So I am no one here who's going. I'm not someone who's going to sit and say ये गलत है, ये सही है. Okay. But let me give you a very simple way of looking at this question. Okay. When you get a pet, your decision making for that pet has to be the same way that you decide for a human child. Okay. Which is, would you want your child to be taken to an environment where they're going to be exposed to lots of people and lots of things and they'll be too scared? No, you wouldn't. Same way you won't take your dog. New pet, you would not take that pet, right? Would you expect your child to, as your child grows up, would you expect your child to be well behaved and quiet and sitting in a corner and studying all the time? No. So your dog won't be, right? Would you expect your child to always be happy and perky and like laughing and running around? And no, your dog won't be. Would you expect your child to be happy eating the same shit every day? No, your dog won't be. Would you expect your child to never scream at you, shout at you, throw their, arms at you? You will. I mean, your child will do all of that, right? Yeah. So similarly, your dog will bark at you. Yeah? Similarly, your dog is going to come and someday कुछ ना कुछ होगा, वो चढ़ेगा आपके ऊपर, ठीक है? वो टेंशन नहीं है, ले नहीं लेगा. Is there a situation where your dog is going to be the best dog in the world, or your child is going to be the best child in the world? No, never. Whatever decisions you take for your own children, the same lens needs to be applied to your pets. Okay? You're not going to overindulge your child, right? You're not going to spoil your child. You're not going to constantly give your child lots of junk to eat and all of that. Similarly, you should not do that with your pet. Same logic है boss. हम complicate कर देते हैं life को.
Yeah.
Okay? So whenever someone wants to become a pet parent, they have to wear the same lens that they would wear if they had a child of their own. So at the end of the day, your decision is very, very simple. Would I do this if I was to do this, or would I want this done for a human child? If not, then potentially the answer is don't do it for the pet also, yeah. Don't leave your pet alone for extremely long hours at home. या तो नहीं छोड़ोगे अपने बच्चे को भी ना, तो मत छोड़ो, जितना हो सकता है उतना कर लो, right? One of the biggest things that I genuinely want to say, and I'm going to use your platform to say it, is please, yeah, if you're not willing to make sacrifices in life, if you're not going to be able to take care of your pet in conditions where the pet is not going to be in good health, if you are not going to be able to take care of your pet in a way where you won't be able to give them attention and love and care, and if you think that you are only getting the pet at a point जहाँ पे आपको बहुत मन किया है but आपने सोचा नहीं अच्छी तरह इसको लेके, then please don't get a pet. We are seeing massive cases of abandonment. We are seeing people who have got pets who are leaving pets out on the street, रोड साइड में किसी एक लैंप पोस्ट के साथ बांध के चले जाते हैं. Please, ये सब मत करना. Getting a pet is a massive responsibility. A pet is relying 100% on you for their life. If you leave a pet outside, then the largest chances that they will not be able to survive, right? Because they're already getting food from you. They're already getting shelter from you. They're getting everything from you. तुम उसको बाहर छोड़ दोगे, they will not be able to survive. And it's very sad the way we have seen so many people do it. Our news circles are full of it. To your question, what should a pet parent not do when you're getting a pet home? My honest answer is don't get a pet home if you're not going to be able to commit to it 100%. And commit to it to a point जहाँ पेट बीमार पड़ेगा तो आप हो उसके साथ, आप छुट्टी ले सकते हो, आप बैठ सकते हो. हाँ, आपका खर्चा बढ़ता है तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. अगर वो 2 दिन ऐसा आपके लाइफ से निकल जाएगा जहाँ पे आप बाहर नहीं जा सकते हो, दोस्तों के साथ नहीं रह सकते हो, बिकॉज योर पेट नीड्स यू एट होम, प्लीज स्टे एट होम. और अगर लाइफ में आप ये डिसीजन नहीं ले सकते हो, then please don't bring a pet home. But जिस दिन ये डिसीजन ले लिया and you got a pet home, then please make sure that you're looking at the pet from the same lens that you would look at as if you were a pet parent. So it's better not to get than to get and abandon. That's my only submission.
That's actually very thoughtful and very insightful.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. Yeah. It's very disturbing. The world is very broken right now, very fractured, and we see a lot of this happening across. So I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, everyone remembers the story. मेरे साथ भी मेरे को याद है जब first time my pet was unwell. I remember each and everything in detail. कि कब क्या हुआ था, क्या हुआ.
You're helpless. Yeah. You're helpless. But we see a lot of people, dog has become older, तो उसको छोड़ दिया. क्यों, अब तो बहुत बूढ़ा हो गया, हम नहीं संभाल सकते. यार, would you take your own parents or grandparents and leave them outside? नहीं करोगे ना. So it's very difficult because for that dog there is no other world. उसकी पूरी जिंदगी, उसकी पूरी दुनिया आप हो और कोई नहीं है. कुछ नहीं पता उसको आपके बिना, कुछ भी नहीं पता उसको. ठीक है, उसको सही गलत का कोई फर्क नहीं पता. जब तक आप हो सब कुछ सही है, जब आप नहीं हो सब कुछ गलत है. तो उस बीच में अगर आप उसको बाहर छोड़ दोगे क्योंकि वो बूढ़ा हो गया, उसकी तबीयत खराब हो गई है, या तो वो थोड़ा अग्रेसिव है, घर पे वो भौंकता ज्यादा है या वो काटता है या जो भी है, अगर आपने उस टाइम पे उसको बाहर छोड़ दिया तो एसेंशियली आपने उसका डेथ वारंट साइन कर दिया है कि हाँ ठीक है, यहाँ पे नहीं, मैं अपने हाथों से तुझे नहीं मार सकता तो मैं तुझे बाहर छोड़ देता हूँ, तो वहां जाके मर जा, मुझे नहीं पता. सुनने में बहुत कठोर लगता है, थोड़ा क्रूर है ये, मगर सच बात यही है कि जिस दिन आपने उसको घर से निकाल दिया, उस दिन आपने उसको इस दुनिया से भी निकाल दिया. कोई no one is going to sit up and say I'm going to take this dog home and I'm going to take care of this dog. Very few people do that, right? So there are massive cases of abandonment. जो shelters जाते हैं, अगर वो बहुत lucky है तो shelter पहुंच जाते हैं, नहीं है तो फिर बाहर वो सड़क पे ही निकल जाते हैं, कुछ नहीं बचता. So it's a very difficult thing to hear. It's a very difficult thing to bear. But honestly, don't get a pet if you can't take care of the pet.
Little harsh on the ears, but that's actually the reality which we need to stick to. Now again, coming to your particular field of not interest, but the field you are into, I wanted to know from your perspective, since you joined the organization, what you have seen, like how the company has grown, what have been your input, or how was your experience overall? अगर मैं पूछूं तो.
Yeah, I think my input to the larger organization should stay. I'm restricted by whatever I can. in terms of what I can say about my input. I think my inputs are broadly around philosophically, how do we build the brand? Culturally, how do we build the place? How do we build a business that has some amount of sustainability, integrity, empathy built into it? I'm a big champion of the brand, so for me, it remains very close to me, and the purpose of it remains extremely close to me. I think when you reach a certain stage and level, like where we are as a brand, there's a certain moral obligation and responsibility towards the community. So my role is honestly to uphold that obligation and responsibility. Right? I'm not here to change the course of the world. I'm here to make sure that we are upholding our value system as much as we can. Right? That's my role. Functionally, what that means is, of course, there is a commerce growth, there is product growth, there is technology, there is talent, there is capital management, there is compliance, there's the legalese of it. So I handle sort of intransferable operability. I handle all of this. How we have grown, I think we have matured as a brand more than anything else.
Okay.
Right? So one is that we have gone through a lot of maturity curves where today we're able to command a certain amount of efficiency in the supply line, for example. Right? Earlier we were not able to do so. Hence, we are able to make better products, which are now cheaper. So our prices have actually come down over the years; they've not gone up. And the way we are able to do that is by becoming an organization which is asking for the right things from our suppliers, from our manufacturers, from our material gatherers, and so on and so forth. Second is we have also become more mature in terms of design. Now we are able to design solutions which are far more deeply thought through as opposed to instinctive or gut-based, which was earlier, right? And I think that's a transformative piece. We have become a lot more mature when it comes to our technology stacks. So today we run a full-scale app. We run our own consumer data lake. We have our warehouse management systems in place. We have been able to look at marketing automation, which is deeply integrated, deeply purposeful, very strong customizations, cohorts are very deep. Our content reaches anywhere between 100 to 150 million people every month. And if you look at our followers to our reach, to our engagement, to the share ratio, we are potentially one of the highest engagement brands in the country. In a very niche category, so we're a verticalized category, our engagement rates are insanely high. And there is a reason for it, because our content has relevance. Our content has capacity to start moving conversations and, at the same time, bring people together. So I think that's a key indicator of success. In the last 2 years that I've been here, we have expanded retail. We have gone from 24 stores to about 80 odd stores. We introduced the app, as I mentioned, the reward program. Our website now has far more sort of purposefully built SKUs and bundles, which we did not have earlier. We have also expanded into quick commerce, into marketplaces, which we did not have. We have launched a couple of sub-brands which help fix extremely sharp sort of need gaps in the market at different price points. From a services portfolio, we have expanded our spa services to now about 65 odd different touch points. We have gone into the export market. So the last 2 years has been a massive expansion in terms of our capability, capacity, talent, manufacturing, and sort of verticalized, category expansion. So we have done that. It's been deeply challenging. It's been also very needle moving in terms of business. I think we have a lot of stakeholder confidence, and we have a lot of capital confidence, which helps us. But what we have more than anything else, honestly, Rahul, is we have a cultural confidence. Today, at the end of the day, I think we are a brand that has been able to influence culture and influence mindset and make people believe in a better life. And for me, everything else aside, that is the best marker of success. If a brand can become a culture brand, nothing like it.
True. See, the biggest problem which I have noticed brands suffer with is the vision which probably few guys have at the top, and they are not able to kind of convey or convey that kind of vision, or provide that mindset, make the others people also feel, all the employees make them feel to have the same mindset, which kind of is missing in majority of the brands. Considering Huft, like what I've noticed, that every employee in your company would have the same mindset, same kind of vision, that the agenda is very clear. Ki, haan, ye karna hai.
Yeah.
So
correct.
because of which it becomes a whole army. Yeah. It starts with the
hiring.
it gives a vibe where the whole ship is like moving forward at one go. It's not like disoriented or anything like that. It's like a army marching towards one
यार हमारी
particular
ना
goal.
कंपनी की एक सिंगल लाइन फिलॉसफी है, we help make people better caregivers to animals. That's it. We are helping make people better caregivers to animals. That's a single line philosophy. तो अब अगर सबको पता है that I have to help Rahul become a better caregiver to Jumbo, and I have to help Samriddh become a better caregiver to Ginger and Whiskey and all of them, then that's it. That's my core ambition. So how do I achieve that? How do I achieve that with product? How do I achieve that with technology? How do I achieve that through service, through content and awareness and education? That's the only thing. Your one line philosophy, one line value system, that's our hairy audacious goal, that we want to make people better caregivers for animals. Break that down and then see what it means for your function. What does it mean from an action, and also from a awareness and education perspective, right? That's fundamentally where we are. And I'm happy that more than more than the majority, I think, or at least more than half the organization sort of has been around for the last 7 to 8 years, if not longer. And the new ones who keep coming in because we are growing, they bring a similar philosophy and a similar mindset and a similar value system. So it's a good, strong engine that has been built ground up.
Yeah. Samriddh ji, क्या बोलूं मैं? It was really nice understanding the thought process behind like how this brand was built and what kind of mindset all of you guys have. And yeah, from now on, I'm gonna stop using the word "I own a pet." That's for sure.
नहीं, pet owner नहीं, pet owner नहीं.
अब से मैं सबको टोकूंगा ये चीज पे कि यार you don't use this term.
नहीं, pet owner नहीं. You're a caregiver. At the end of the day, see, you might say Jumbo is my bhai. हाँ तो तू pet sibling है ना. You're not see, the challenge with the owner is that there is a power struggle here, right? You own something, you think that, okay, this thing is in my power, it's in my control, but pets are not.
Yeah.
No, but no, thank you so much for the opportunity. And, at the end of the day, if more people hear about the value system that we have and honestly, just, the core messages of just be kinder to animals, bring a pet only if you genuinely can take care of the pet over a long period of time. Make sure that you are looking at the pet as you would look at your human child or any child at home. Ensuring that you are reaching out for the best possible guidance that you might need and seek. So reach out to us here. We are there to help you, guide you.
Yeah.
You're making choices that help the pet live the most comfortable life that they can. I think as long as those are your indicators, you'll be okay. You'll be a good pet parent. अच्छा pet parent बनना ना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है, because तुम्हें पता नहीं तुम्हें करना क्या है. तो अगर कोई सलाह चाहिए तो पूछ लो हमसे, हम हैं यहाँ पे, हम थोड़ी बहुत हेल्प कर देंगे. So yeah,
actually
that's it.
वो एक चीज मिसिंग रहती है, मतलब lack of awareness is something which like Indians.
So reach out, reach out. A lot of people reach out. We are always here. Walk into one of our stores. Our store folks are extremely well equipped. Everyone is extremely well trained. They should be able to help you. Please, feel free to write to Rashi, me, whosoever you want inputs from. We are always there. It's just whenever you need advice or any kind of guidance, even if we don't know, we are going to reach out to an expert to get to know for you. वो हमारा प्रॉमिस है. हमें बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं बताऊंगी. आप आओगे हमारे पास, हो सकता है एक सवाल का हमारे पास जवाब हो, दूसरे का नहीं हो. बट आवर कमिटमेंट टू यू विल ऑलवेज बी, हाँ ठीक है, हमारे नेटवर्क में जितने एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनसे पूछ के आपको जरूर बता देंगे, या तो हमको कनेक्ट कर देंगे. But whenever someone needs anything, we are here to help. We are here to serve, and we are here to make sure that you and your pet have the best time together here.
It was really nice talking to you, Samriddh ji. It was really
Rahul, it is completely my pleasure, and it's my honor, and thank you so much for the opportunity. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so much.